into the Deep Research Masterclass. Welcome to the Deep Research Masterclass 1.0. The goal of this section is to provide the most advanced deep research prompts that will allow you to get in the minds of your target audience so you can create really good marketing copy that will help you scale. Before we begin with the prompts, let's quickly cover the important marketing concepts and things you need to know if you want to get inside of your customer's mind. So just so you're aware, a lot of the foundation that I've built today come from these 6 forefathers of marketing. These guys have really inspired me over the last few years when it comes to understanding marketing, understanding copywriting. So I've pulled resources from their specific trainings, their specific resources, and combined them all into one massive prompt and step-by-step strategy that you can use to apply to your long-form copy and native image ads. First one here is Claude Hopkins. People don't buy because you're clever. They buy because your explanation makes sense. Each of these guys have a core principle. They also talk about other strategies and information that's important, but they have this one special thing that stood out, and it really resonated with me when it comes to learning how to create the copy myself. I'll leave book recommendations as well if you ever want to go through. Scientific Advertising is a really great book as well. We can learn about the fundamental strategies of how people learn how to advertise and get consumers to buy whatever you're selling. David Ogilvy, absolute beast. The consumer isn't a moron. She's your wife. There's so many good concepts with this. Basically saying, speak to people in a way that they want to be spoken to. You don't want to dumb it down too much or speak to them in a way that they don't understand. Gary Halbert, the core principle that really resonated with me is that the ad is not about the product. It's about the person reading it. So creating relatable marketing, right? The Boron Letters is a great book to read for that. Dan Kennedy, by far one of my favorites of the 6. He is a copywriting goat. His principle, he has so many core principles, but this one was really important. People value what is scarce, specific, and confidently framed. So The Ultimate Sales Letter was a book I read years ago, back when I was in the info space, and No BS Direct Marketing was one of the newer publications that was really popular a few years ago. Some really great information here that is just evergreen, right? Will be around for the dawn of time. Russell Brunson, an OG in the space, he kind of pulled a lot of his information from Dan, but he reconceptualized it in a way that is different and unique that I really like. His core principle is people don't buy products, they buy the story that creates an epiphany that you offer is the natural next step. This is going to be very important, especially when we get into the deep research and copywriting, creating that epiphany and that bridge between the problem that they're having or the desire that they want to the product that you're selling and how that can be the one-stop solution to fixing the problem or helping to create that desire. Expert Secrets is probably the best book for that. Definitely give that a read. And then Eugene Schwartz, probably one of the most important when it comes to Facebook marketing. His strategies are actually before Facebook was even a thing, but they are just some of the rudimentary, fundamental things. When we talk about desires, those types of desires that every customer has, copy does not create them. It actually just channels existing desires. Going after people with a already rudimentary desire and helping them understand how our product can help with that desire. Breakthrough Advertising, absolutely great book. It's kind of hard to find. I don't know why or how, but you can just Google it and you'll pretty much be able to find that. So that shouldn't be too hard to find. So with these 6 forefathers, I've been able to develop a formula for deep research / copy. All right. So we need to figure out these pieces of information to create really good copy. And with the deep research prompts that I'm going to show you how to get access to in just a moment, you'll be able to tap in and understand all this information. And we're going to basically create 4 prompts as of today's training. There's 4 prompts. If anything were to update or change down the line, which probably will be, I will upload this video. But right now, there's 4 deep research prompts that we're going to create that kind of overlap and address all of these 8 pieces of information we need to know before every single product test. So the first one is market awareness level. This comes from Eugene Schwartz. How are they aware of the problem and what potential solutions are out there in the market? So this is going to help us identify, okay, I'm selling protein powder. What percentage of my audience even knows what protein powder is, and what percentage of them have actually tried some type of protein powder? Maybe there's something new and unique about mine that I can tap into that would get them to actually buy instead of just saying, hey, I've already tried protein powder. Back in my info days, what we used to do is that we'd create a common enemy. So we used to teach coaches how to scale with Instagram ads. So we'd say, hey, look, coaches, you probably have tried TikTok or organic marketing and you're just frustrated. Something you haven't tried though is Instagram ads. Try Instagram ads. I mean, think about this very program you're watching right now, right? You're in here because you're tired of Cali data ripping. You're tired of copying your competitors. You're tired of brands scaling to a couple hundred or a couple $1,000s a day and then plummeting to the ground because you didn't build any proper infrastructure. And now you're looking for a new solution. And that goes to the point of what potential solutions are out there in the market. You've already tried other solutions, and now you're coming to this one here. So that's a prime example of market awareness. We need to understand the different levels of market awareness. There's problem, solution, product, unaware levels. We'll talk more about that in the deep research. More times than not, you're going to either be in problem or solution aware. Like 99.9% of the time. Unless you're picking something super like no one's even heard of the product or no one even knows what it is, then you might be in unaware. But for the most part, it's problem and solution aware. So, raw pain, what is the biggest or the big issue that your target audience is going through, and how deep is that pain? So we obviously know that there's different sub audiences of people out there. For the back massager, there might be stay-at-home moms, there might be truck drivers, but all those people, despite them being different customer avatars, there's that one big problem that they're all facing. It's important that we understand that problem and how deep that problem really is. And when I say deep, I don't mean just, oh, I have back pain, but it could be as deep as, oh, I have back pain, which makes it hard for me to hold and take care of my child as a stay-at-home mom. And now I feel like I don't have that personal connection with my child because I'm always in pain. Or I'm overweight and I can't play with my children because going up and down the stairs is already a workout as by itself. So now when my kids want to go outside, go to the park, I can't do that and I'm disappointing them. And now my relationship with my kids are deteriorating. Do you see how we can take, I feel overweight or I'm dealing with back pain and really uncover multiple layers and talk about the different issues that come from having that back pain? That is that raw pain. Oh, I don't like the way I look and I feel ugly and insecure, which also reflects on how my husband looks at me, and we haven't, been intimate in a while, and now our relationship is deteriorating, and we might get a divorce because my husband hasn't slept with me in a while because I don't look as good. I have all these acne scars, or my hair is falling out, or I feel fat. So there's layers to that pain, and it really does help to have a product that solves a deep enough pain that has multiple layers. Now, there are, in this training, in this program, we talk about finding products that aren't in these super competitive niches. You can still find deep enough pain, and you can still find products that are in less competitive niches that may not solve a pain as deep as wrinkles or anti-aging or weight loss, but still solve a big enough pain that resonates with a large enough audience. So don't think that every single deep pain has to be those really competitive things like that only supplements can solve, or only serums and skincare routines and sleep, right? Like, oh, I can't get sleep at night. Like there's more problems out there than that. And I've talked about this ad nauseum in the product research trainings, and I have examples and live proof of real life products that I've been able to scale that don't fit in any of those really competitive criteria. In fact, at the end of this module, you'll see a live case study of me using these very prompts that I'm going to hand over to you guys, and I'm going to show you a product. You'll see the product, and it's literally in completely not obscured, but it's in a unique enough niche where you might think to yourself, is there enough people that actually care about this product or this solution? And you'd be surprised. So it's this idea where it has to be a supplement. It has to be something that has to solve a problem with sleep or anti-aging, or no, it doesn't have to be in these really competitive niches. Again, please go back to the product research training if you haven't watched it already. I have a clear checklist of everything you need to do, because as great as these deep research prompts are and the copywriting is, if your product is super competitive, you can have the best copy in the world. You're still just going to have competitors that make it harder to advertise to. Tribal language, right? When we talk about copy, back to what Halbert and Ogilvy said, right? So the consumer isn't a moron, she's your wife. We need to speak with words, phrases, and grammar level of our target audience. We need to speak to them in a way that they understand. We want to use certain words, phrases. When we do deep research, we will pull specific prompts. We'll use specific prompts to pull information from Reddit, from other deep research platforms that will get raw feedback from the customers and the consumers themselves. So we'll be able to speak in the same language as our customers do. Failed attempts, right? So what other product solutions have they tried in the past? Why didn't it work? And how do they feel about it? Right. So this is pulled directly from Hopkins. It's really important that we understand what other solutions are out there, because we don't want our customers to feel like we're just another product in the market, right? This is how we kind of fight against competition. We don't want too much competition, but by nature, you're always going to have some level of competition. But this is how we can fight against that competition, and also get people that read our long form copy not feel as if they have to just go to Amazon to buy it, right? They actually should come to us. Limiting beliefs, what's stopping them from accomplishing their goals? So this kind of goes hand in hand, but if I am someone that's dealing with acne scars, and I've tried all these different serums, maybe one of the things that's stopping me from accomplishing my goals is just that maybe genetics. Maybe I'm just genetically susceptible to having acne scars, pimples, and maybe I'm just doomed. I'm destined for failure. If we can destroy that limiting belief and let them know, no, it's actually not because of your acne. It's actually this other thing that you're dealing with that you can solve with our product. You are going to be well off, right? So Russell says it here. People don't buy products, they buy the story that creates an epiphany, right? An epiphany is a realization that they probably didn't think of before that helps them understand. You can think of this as a light bulb going above someone's head when they come up with an idea or a solution. That's what we're trying to create, an epiphany, and bridge that epiphany with our product. So, new mechanism. How does our product resolve their problem in a way they never heard of or tried before? This will really, really be beneficial. Now, not everyone will be able to address this new mechanism, and that's okay. That doesn't mean you have to now give up and start all over from scratch. But for those of you that do have this opportunity, this is going to help a lot, right? So obviously, if you've been trying to put on muscle for so long and you've been trying to drink protein shakes to do that, and I come around and say, hey, no, you should actually try peptides. Peptides are a whole different way of building muscle that doesn't require you to drink protein shakes. Or if you think about it even more conventional, maybe we can talk about like taking a certain type of supplement, like a pill capsule, and saying, hey, you take a pill capsule every time for your vitamin D. What if you just had a gummy instead? You chew the gummy, and it's way better than doing the capsule, because the capsule might be too big. It might hurt your throat to swallow it. A gummy, you just chew and it's easier. I keep using supplement references. I'm sorry, because you shouldn't be looking to drop ship supplements, at least not as a beginner. But that's just the easiest way to kind of give you guys examples. But anyway, next up is acceptable proof and authority anchoring. This is really important. This is where I started to really see success. What belief, source, or authority figure will help them believe our product is a reliable solution? So this doesn't mean you have to have a doctor every single time in your long form copy saying, yeah, this is one of the best products ever. You don't necessarily need that. Of course, for some products that will make sense, but it could be some type of professional. It could be a report. It could be a second or third opinion from a family member. It could be something else that makes the messaging and the long form copy seem legit, right? And it should be believable. It shouldn't be like, oh yeah, a doctor, I was in the grocery store and I just came across this professional doctor that just so happened to be started talking to me about how I can lose 50 pounds by just taking this supplement. You know what I mean? They should be real, like it should feel realistic, and it should, again, feel as if, in a lot of cases, it should feel like the person in the story stumbled across the information. That's what makes it believable, is like, oh, I was just scrolling through, and sometimes you have copy that's like the person was trying to actually look for the solution as well. That's okay. But what will really help is like, oh, I was just scrolling through, and then this article popped up talking about how to lose weight, and I started reading more into it. I was a little skeptical at first, but then as I started to go through it, it actually started to address some of the issues that I was facing, and that's when I started to read more and more. And then I came across, you see how there's like a lead up and a build up to that, and it's not just, hey, I'm gonna plop this like magical authority that just came out of nowhere. So that's important to address as well. And the great thing about this, guys, is the prompts that I'm going to give you, a lot of it's already done. The AI scripting and everything isn't perfect though, so sometimes you have to read through this and tweak a couple things. But through and through, it's pretty bulletproof. And then identity upgrade, who they will become once they start using your product and resolving their problems. So, okay, great. My hair loss, I'm losing a lot of hair. I take this product, and not only am I getting my hair back, which is good, that's a surface level solution, but now I feel more confident. Now I'm going outside more. Now I'm happier. Maybe I was a single woman in my mid 30s and I wasn't able to go on any dates because I didn't feel confident. But now that my hair is growing with this magic supplement, I feel more confident and go on dates now and start to talk to men. And now I'm going on dates. I met this beautiful man, or this handsome man, and he's now, there's like that next level of like, okay, the solution is I got my hair, but what's the upgrade? How does my identity change with this product? So yeah, that is just an introduction to the deep research / also copywriting a little bit too. I kind of address some points with that. The next training will kind of spend some time going over each one of the documents. And then of course, at the end of this, I'll show you guys how to apply this in real time. I'm going to launch a campaign with you with the deep research documents. And then there'll be a separate training where I actually did this with a product, went from 0 to 1K a day in 24 hours. You'll be able to watch a live case study, see the actual product, see the prompts, see the images, see everything in the decision-making process.